Hello, this is Alex Chavez, the interpreter. Can anybody hear me?
You should be promoted now.
It does start at 4:30. We're just waiting for a few more commissioners to see if they are able to attend. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Commissioner. How are we enjoying the humidity today? Kind of hit us a little bit by surprise. Went from like dry heat to a little bit more moisture in the air today. How long we keep this around for? See, hopefully it'll be gone a little bit before the 4th of July event. Good afternoon, Madam Chair.
Hi, everyone.
We're also waiting for our city engineer. He is our presenter for the item that we have on the agenda. I've texted him, I'm waiting to see. I did speak with him earlier and he was a go, so just waiting on him populating as well.
That sounds good. And I think we're probably waiting for at least one or two more commissioners.
Yes, Commissioner, we did get an email, let me double check.
Hi, everyone.
Commissioner Figueroa will not be able to attend. Yes, Madam Chair, our city engineer is on and we do have a quorum, so I'll defer to you. It's when you would like to call the meeting to order. Our city clerk is not with us this evening, so I'll be taking minutes for the purpose of the meeting.
Thank you. Yeah, that sounds great. I think we can go ahead and call this meeting to order at 4:33 p.m. And we can go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. All right. So I pledge of allegiance. Come on, everyone. For the Pledge of Allegiance, United States of America,
And to the
And
republic
to
for which
Republic,
it stands,
which stands
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
God,
under
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty
with
and
liberty and
justice.
justice for all.
justice for all.
Great, thank you, everyone. And we can go ahead and go to roll call.
Commissioner Avila,
Here.
Commissioner Cadena, Commissioner Ayala,
Here.
Commissioner Rodriguez, Vice Chair,
here.
and Chair Figueroa.
And here.
And as I mentioned, our alternate Commissioner Figueroa is unavailable and he did notify us in advance. Thank you.
We can go ahead and move to the approval of the agenda. So at this time, the commission may announce any items being pulled from the agenda or continued to another date or request the moving of an item on the agenda.
I'll motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
I'm going to go ahead and do the roll call. Commissioner Avila,
Aye.
Commissioner Cadena. Sorry, he is absent. Commissioner Ayala,
Aye.
Commissioner Rodriguez, Vice Chair,
Aye.
and Chair Figueroa.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, we can go ahead then and move forward with the presentation, which we have for the Veterans Memorial Park Interactive Water Feature. Sounds interesting.
And sorry, we do have approval of the minutes from
Oh.
our last meeting.
Oh, that's true. So the approval of the minutes for the regular meeting minutes of May 17th of the Parks and Recreation Commission of the City of Coachella, of California. Do I have a motion?
A motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
I'll go ahead and do roll call. Commissioner Avila,
Aye.
Commissioner Ayala,
Aye.
Vice Chair Rodriguez,
Aye.
Chair Figueroa.
I'll go ahead and abstain just because I wasn't here that meeting.
Thank you.
And then now we'll go ahead and move to the presentation. Sorry, y'all, I'm a little distracted today.
No problem. Thank you. And I'd like to introduce our city engineer, Andrew Simmons, who's going to go ahead and lead this presentation. Thank you, Andrew, for being with us.
Thank you for having me. As Maritza commented, my name is Andrew Simmons. I'm the city engineer for the city of Coachella. And one of the projects we're working on right now is the Pueblo Viejo Sustainable Downtown Transportation project, where we're putting in curbs and gutters and sidewalks and landscaping throughout our downtown area. And one of the items that was potentially of consideration as part of that overall project, there was some money that was set aside for improvements to parks. So within the staff, we had discussed potentially doing something regarding a water feature, some kind of interactive water feature at Veterans Park. So let me share my presentation and I can present to you what kind of the gist of the project that we had been thinking of for Veterans Park. Okay, so everyone can see my the presentation?
Yes, we can.
So just real quick, obviously Veterans Park at the corner of Orchard and 4th and Vine behind the old City Hall. As far as the areas where we're looking to do the feature, there's currently an oval shaped kind of ellipse right behind the City Hall. Currently there are some Vietnam memorial plaques within that ellipse area. And there used to be a tree in the middle, but the tree has since died since then. So that ellipse area is where we're thinking of putting the interactive water feature, and those Vietnam memorial plaques would be relocated. So what we're considering on doing right now is moving them to this top corner, at the corner of 4th and Orchard. There's a square raised platform there that I think would actually do a better job at displaying those plaques, so they can be a little more interactive for the community to come take a look at them. Again, with the existing conditions, this is the ellipse area that's there now. You can see the black plaques on the ground, 2 benches, some lights, kind of a very low-key feature behind the existing buildings. Oops, I thought I had another picture there. I guess I don't. We did start with our design process. So we had a landscape engineer draw up a concept of what we would want to do here. We're thinking of doing something relatively low key because it is a veterans park. We want to make sure that whatever interactive feature we have here is going to be respectful of the fact that it's a veterans park. So we are not planning any overhead leaves or, kind of more like playground type equipment. We want something kind of more classy that is a ground level interactive feature. A preliminary concept that we had thought of was something to kind of honor the military would be setting it up in a circular fashion and then have the different points represent the different branches of military. So that's what the color scheme is here. Again, this is just a concept. If we did send it out, if we did send this out as a project, we would set it up as a design build contract. And it would come back to the Parks Commission, and back to City Council as far as revamping the design and making sure that the design was something that the Parks Commission and any other commissions involved would be approving of the design. We prepared some of the civil as well. Again, we would be looking at doing a non-slip surface with water jets that would shoot in the air, a fairly low-key design, something that would be military themed in nature. This is the intersection of 4th and Orchard, and this is actually an artistic rendering of how the plaques could be relocated. So as you can see, we would add some concrete adjacent to this square area, and we could relocate those plaques and actually put them on 45-degree concrete placards. Because right now, the way they're set up is they're just kind of in the ground. They're in the middle of a landscape area, and they're not real visible. So this would actually kind of highlight those placards better by moving them to the corner where they'd have more traffic and be kind of a dedicated spot where those existing Veterans Memorial plaques could be protected. As far as a rendering for what we'd be looking at for the interactive feature, we are looking to put in water jets that would squirt up from the ground, very popular in a lot of places. But again, a relatively simple design, not really set up as a playground area, a place where you can cool off. I mean, we would imagine kids would run through here and get wet once in a while, but not really set up as a playground, more of an interactive. That's why we're calling it an interactive water feature. Couple shade structures, benches, and the non-slip surface in the middle. Other features that we would be wanting to put within the interactive feature, we would want to put lights under the water fountain. That way we could change the colors of the lights during the season. You could use greens and reds during Christmas, or orange during Halloween, or you could put in purple and gold if Lakers make it to the NBA finals or something like that. That's part of the interactive nature of it, is to be able to have those lights within the water features. Another thing that we can design it to do is to have the steam or the fog during the winter. So that way it becomes an interactive feature for the community all year long. You can see how the fog kind of looks with these types of features. That way you're not just running the water all winter long when people don't really want to be walking through there and getting wet in the winter. And that's my whole presentation, kind of short and sweet. So if anyone has any questions about what we're looking for, what we want to design here, or comments or suggestions on what you would like to see, or whether you think this is appropriate for the area, please let us know so that we can incorporate any suggestions into how we approach moving forward.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrew, for the presentation. I do have a few questions, but want to open it up to any of the other commissioners first before I go in. I was making some notes while you were giving your presentation, so thank you for that. Okay, so the first one that I have is you said there was money set aside for this with the Pueblo Viejo development that's happening. I guess where is the money coming from to pay for this water feature?
It's a grant project. So we got a grant from the Affordable Housing and Sustainable Communities, and we also got a grant from the Infill Infrastructure. It's called IIG, Infill Infrastructure Grant. So that's the money that's currently funding the work that we're doing on 6th Street and 5th Street. So this is, and as that whole grant package, because that grant package includes a lot of areas, we're doing infill sidewalk on Pendleton, we're doing infill sidewalk over on Vine, we're doing bike lanes all throughout the downtown area. And within that whole larger grant package, $180,000 was set aside for park enhancements. So it wasn't it didn't specifically say what those park enhancements had to be. It was just a set aside of an additional $180,000 that could be spent for park enhancements. So we'd be utilizing that for this project.
And you'd have to do like the report and send that to SGC or like HCD based on like what those park enhancements look like as part of the grant.
Yes, so we would have to, we would be submitting it to them as far as the approval.
Well, and you mentioned that folks in the community were interested in these type of, where did that input, like, did it come from some of the, I know the city of Coachella did like a survey a while back when they were applying for the AHSC grant for the apartments and all this stuff. Is that where this came from, or was it a separate, just wondering like where it was coming from?
I am not sure what the nexus was for deciding to try to implement this project. I've been with the city for about 2 years now, a little less than 2 years. So most of the concepts for how they wanted to spend this money were developed before I came to the city. Even the grant project, the AHSC and the IIG grants, those were applied for and awarded years before I came onto the city. So I don't know what the impetus for beginning this process was.
Okay, yeah, no, it would just be great to know kind of like where like the community input like aspects coming from, like if folks are interested, because it sounds like a really cool thing, but would definitely want to hear like, I guess, some from the community to see like if a water feature is something that'd be interested in, right? We hear it here and there, but it'd be nice if there was some concrete material as part of like the grants, or if maybe that's something that the city can do in the meantime before it goes to the city council, right? Maybe put it on Facebook here and there to kind of get some attention on it. Is wouldn't want there to be any like issues or like it happens and then people are like, oh no, we didn't want this. I don't know, like you never know.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, and if I could just add, I wasn't, I usually don't do too much with regards to development of our capital program, but I do know that there was a lot of interest from the downtown community area of our town with regards to adding more children-focused amenities to Veterans Park when it was redesigned. Actually, in one of the first renderings of the redesign for the park, it did not include a playground area, and that was a very big concern. So I think that led to the discussion that Andrew's leading at this point with regards to possibly incorporating an interactive water feature, being that we are in the desert and water features are very popular in the parks that they do exist within our city. Just some feedback. We do know that we do need to do some outreach. That was going to be our next steps. We wanted to start with some feedback from the commission and then take it to additional outreach mechanisms and different tools. We do have a lot of art events that are going to kick off in the fall. Right now is way too hot to really probably do too many of those, but we do have El Grito coming up, and then we'll lead into some of our other ones. We'll have our October movies in the park series, and we can probably use those opportunities to get some of that feedback in addition to social media tools.
That sounds awesome. That sounds like really, really good. The other question I had too, which I just have to ask just because I'm curious, I wonder, and on water conservation efforts, like I know it's like a big thing, right? That drought and everything that's going on. And are we at all concerned? Like, is there like a number of estimated amount of like gallons or what, that's being used? And
So Andrew, you can step in here if you like to add on this, but we don't have purple pipe in the city at this point. So it would be potable water. We do not run it year round. Our splash pads, generally, we would probably use a lot of the features that Andrew mentioned with regards to the lighting to create additional features during the colder months. And that's really done to conserve water and also to reduce the operational costs on our parks, right? Because it is an expensive feature with regards to the water consumption component. So I do think that we would still be able to manage some conservation efforts. We do have timers that are installed with these features. So it runs from a specific time and we can reduce that window if we needed to for additional conservation factors. And we continue to look at our parks to reduce the turf areas that are not high use. So we can reduce that water conservation in other manners and still be able to incorporate these features.
thank you.
Also, I mean, it recycles the water, recirculates the water. So, I mean, the water does just immediately absorb back in. So it's not the only water that you end up using is, the water that you have due to loss, due to evaporation or due to like excessive splashing. But it is designed as a confined feature with recirculated water, with recirculated potable water. So it's
Sanitary.
Yeah, it would use, and it has the inline sanitation, you have the inline disinfecting and all that kind of stuff that would be required for people to be able to, walk through it safely. But I mean, it would use a lot less water than say like, a patch of turf would use, where you just have to dump the water on the ground and you don't get that water back, it's not recirculated. So, I mean, this feature uses less water than like grass.
And the last question I have, I guess I have two last questions, but the last one is on for the placards. I didn't catch on like what is it people's names that are on the placards right now before they get I'm wondering if it is people's names, like for families and veterans who've served from Coachella, but might be a good idea if the families are still around to let them know that it will be relocated, just so there's not any idea where they're like, the city just moved it and didn't let us know. But I think it'd be a very good bridge to the families if it is people's names.
Yes, there is. One of the placards does have people's names. So there's there's 4 different placards that all kind of say different things that are all related to the Vietnam Memorial portion of the park. And one of them does have a list of names on it.
Are we making an effort to reach out to the families who?
We absolutely can if that is a recommendation.
that would be, yeah, that would definitely be something, I don't know what the other commissioners also think about that. But I think that would be a good sign of, you know, just bridging opportunity, making sure we have that connection with folks. And the other last question I just had was, what's the estimated like timeline? Like, what's the ideal timeline for like, you know, try to get this going, the relocation, the construction, et cetera?
Well,
Like
I
the
mean,
desired timeline.
the first step would be the design build portion. So I would have to go out to bid in order to find a design build contractor who could provide all of the plumbing and electrical design, as well as actually deliver the project. So that process would take several months. The design process would then also take several months because we would be bringing that design back to the Parks Commission, back to Planning Commission, City Council for approval. So the multiple commissions and everything, I would anticipate that process taking several months as well. So realistically, this would be, as far as breaking ground, this would probably be a project that would break ground like next spring. By the time we awarded a contract and went through that interactive design process and made sure we were getting that feedback from the community as we move forward with that design process.
Thank you. That's all my questions. Are there any other comments, questions?
I don't have any questions. I just wanted to add, I think it's a great feature, being that we have some of the hottest days in the summer and year round. I think it would be a benefit for sure that would be used by residents and the community and kids and families. So I think it's a great feature for sure. And the light part on the off season, I think that's great too. It'd still be something interactive, something just out there, and it wouldn't just be empty and drained and dry.
Just
Are
wanted
there
to
any-
add, well, I have a quick
Go
question.
ahead.
Yeah, so you know, the plaques, I think that's a great relocation where you guys are looking at, because I passed by there multiple times and I honestly never really seen the plaques. I think adding the plaques where you guys are planning into, it's kind of you could see them a little bit more now. And then as well to maybe notifying the people that actually like their name, whoever's name's on the plaques. And then actually it's closer to the murals, so which has everything a little bit more closer for them. But honestly, I didn't even know the plaques were there, and I stopped by a lot out there. But you know, this is just great features to add to the city. Been getting a lot of feedback from a lot of people. You know, the improvements of the city, just the city hall and everything else is doing great. So you know, I just want to say keep up a great work out there, guys.
I do have a picture of the plaques as well. If you wanted to see that.
All right, thank you so much for the present. I don't think if there are any more questions and concerns, I'm hoping we can reach out. But other than that, I think in summary, what I'm hearing is that recommendations are to ensure that there's more community feedback, especially for folks in the area, any other opportunities that there are during the upcoming events, social media as like part of the next steps, and for the relocation of the plaques, making sure we reach out to the families and that they know about that. And hopefully also ask for their feedback on the water feature. Does that sound about right to everyone?
That does. We'll move forward in those directions.
All right.
I just have a quick question. Maybe, I don't know if we could reach out as well to like any of the veterans and stuff like that for the design of what the water thing's gonna be going on, just to get a little bit more of them involved, being a veterans park. I don't know if it's something you guys already have in plan, but I mean, that would be just another great option to always add to it.
Yes, we had planned on reaching out to the veterans groups as well. So if we got direction to move forward, we planned on reaching out to veterans groups to make sure that they had a say on approving a final design.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And I think with that, we can go ahead and move on to new business. Seeing that there's none, we can then go ahead and move on to public comment for any non-agenda items. So the public may address the commission on any item of interest to the public that's not on the agenda, but is within the subject matter jurisdiction thereof. Does anybody that would want to give public comment? Seeing none, we can go ahead and move forward to reports and requests for any commissioner comments. Okay. Seeing none, public works director's comments.
I only just had the one comment that we are looking to go dark next month. Commissioners, we don't have any item that's pressing at this time, so we're looking at going dark for the month of July and August, and then reconvening for September, if that is, if everyone is supportive of that direction.
I think that sounds
I
good.
saw a lot of nods, so I'm gonna take that as a
I'm
yes.
good with that. I think we're pretty slow in those months.
Great, then the only other item I wanted to mention is just that we do have the Grito event that's coming up. It's September, our largest event. It is scheduled for September on a Saturday, September 17th. Oh, sorry, 4th of July is our first one. I'm already like jumping the gun there. Vince reminded me. Thank you, Vince. So we are celebrating 4th of July as we always do at Bagduma Park, and we do have a firework show as well that is actually longer than last year. It's going to be a 20-minute instead of 15.
Oh, wow.
So it should be lots of fun for the families. It starts at 6, ends at 9, and we will have carnival rides as well as carnival games. Increased number of food vendors. We did see the lines were a bit long last year, so we've increased about doubled the number of food vendors. So that should help be able to get everyone access to food a lot faster. And we have a live band, and that event is on a Friday, July 1st. So that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Numbers are for the El Grito. Are we going to get VIP passes like we did last year?
You will. And then I usually also send off an email for you guys. You guys are also on our VIP list for parking for the 4th of July event. So there's no VIP seating for the 4th of July, but there will be VIP parking.
I will take the parking. It is worth it.
The parking.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I walked a lot last time just to get to the center.
Yeah, so we'll have set aside parking for you guys as well as for the Grito event as well. And we will give passes away for our commissioners. Usually we do 2, I believe, per commissioner for the Grito.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maritza. Okay, well, seeing that, I think that's the end of our meeting. We can go ahead and adjourn at 5:02 p.m. As always, great seeing you all, and we'll see you in maybe 2 months.
Awesome. Thank you.
I guess.
Bye. Have a great
Bye,
day.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.